this tutorial, we're going to talk about coordinates. So let's start by opening up our set inch template. Now you should have created your set inch template in the previous exercise. So let's go ahead and open. And we want to open a template. So DWT. We need to locate where you saved your templates. Before we do anything to our template, we're going to save it as a drawing because we don't want to mess up our template. So let's do Save As in the Quick Access toolbar. Say that we're going to save it as a drawing, and you'll notice that there are several different drawing types. The most recent drawing format is AutoCAD 2018, so we're going to select that. Select the location to which we're going to save the drawing. And then save it as WCS, which stands for World Coordinate System -UCS, User Coordinate System, Coord Tutorial, and then save. All right, the next thing we want to do is zoom all. So Z enter, A enter, and then go to the View tab in the ribbon. So select View. In the View tab, there should be a coordinate panel. So this is the ribbon, right? We have the View ribbon, and each one of these is a panel. And there should be a coordinate panel, but as you can see, there is not one for me. So I'm going to right-click and Show Panel and get my coordinate one up. So I'm going to click on that, and you can see the coordinate panel showed up. And then I'm going to click on Show UCS icon at origin. And then I'm going to pan this origin over here up and to the right. So if you remember how to pan, if you have a wheel, you can do it by clicking the wheel and moving. Otherwise, you hit this hand and you move it up and to the right, just so that we can see it. And I'll hit Escape to get out. All right, so there's our origin. So I keep talking about coordinates. Well, what we're going to do in this tutorial is visualize those. And to do that, I want to add them down here on my status bar. So I'm going to click on these three lines, the customization, and click on coordinates way up here at the top. And you can see a bunch of numbers appeared. And as I move my cursor, those numbers change. But the last one doesn't, because that's the Z coordinate, and I'm not coming out of my paper, right? That's the third dimension. I'm just changing my X and my Y. So if I get really close to the origin, you'll notice that those numbers become closer and closer to 0. So my origin should be 0, 0. And that's essentially what it is. I can't get perfect, but so that's my 0, 0 right there. I can turn these coordinates on and off. So if I go down to the coordinates, I can click on them, turn them off. Do you notice how it's gray? And now I move my cursor and they don't change. I can click them back on and they do change. So I can turn them on and off. Now here, the coordinate axis, these are what we call the world coordinate system. We can change where the origin is, and when we change it, we then call it the user coordinate system because we're changing it away from the world coordinate system. So let's do that. Up here, we have the command origin, or UCS. You saw that, UCS. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to move the origin. Let's just click it anywhere. Did you notice something changed? The origin now doesn't have that box at the center. So now I know that this is my origin. It's my user origin. It's not the world origin. So let's find the origin. So if I move my coordinate to there, it's 0, 0. So this is a very useful command when you're drawing and want to relate different geometries to something else. If you can change the origin, it makes it very easy to draw. All right, so let's change it back to the world. So you see this one that has the little world. All I got to do is click on that one, and it's the world again, has that little square on it. All right, let's click on the properties. So this is the UCS properties. I can change this to a 2D. And it changes. It gives me a little W now. And I can change it back to a 3D. So whatever you prefer. Let's play around with the chords variable. So I'm going to type in chords, C-O-O-R-D-S, and hit enter. The default is 2. I'm going to change that to 1. What does that do? Well, that says that I want to read absolute coordinates. So let's go to home and draw a line. And I'll show you what that means. So I'm going to draw a line from here. And if you notice the coordinates, if I get my cursor close to the world origin, it goes to 0. So that's absolute. So no matter where my cursor goes, it doesn't matter where the line started, my cursor is reading the coordinate relative to the world coordinate system, which means it's absolute coordinates. All right, so it might make more sense when we go to the next one. So let's do the same thing, but make the chords variable 2. And let's do a line again. So now look at the coordinates. They're polar coordinates. If I get to the origin of the world, it's not 0, 0. But if I get to the center or where I started the line, it is 0. Right? It's 0, 180 or whatever the angle, but the length is 0. So now my new origin is wherever I started that line. So it's relative to the last point I entered. So that's the difference. So if the CORDS is 1, it's absolute. If it's 2, it's relative. I usually leave it at 2 because it's much easier. All right, I'll hit my escape, get out of that command, and let's draw some things. Let's do a rectangle. Now I'll hit the rectangle command, and I'm just gonna do the corner anywhere. I don't know where I'm doing it. I have no idea. I'll just click, right? I don't know where that first point is. And then if you look down in the command prompt, it's asking you some things, right? It says specify the other corner or point. So I don't want to do that. I want to put dimensions in. So I'm going to hit D. enter, and the length of the rectangle is going to be 4, and the width is going to be 3. All right, so there's my rectangle. Oh, and you see now I need to specify whether I want the rectangle up or down. I'll have it up. So now I have no idea where this rectangle is in space. So if I want to draw anything relative to this rectangle, how am I going to do it? Well, I can do it by changing my user coordinate system. So I'm going to go and I'm going to do the view, and I'm going to change my user coordinate system. Now you'll notice here, right, when I get close to the corner, it snaps to it. This is called an object snap. If yours is not snapping, that means that this guy right here, this little square with the little block or the little square in the corner, is not on. Turn that on. That's the object snap. All right, so once it snaps there, click. Now that's my new origin. So now if I want to draw anything relative to this rectangle, I know exactly where it is. This bottom left corner is 0. So let's say that I want to draw a circle. So I'll do a circle, and it says, okay, well, where is the center point of that circle? Well, I know that the rectangle is 4 units this way and 3 up. If I want to draw a circle right in the middle, I can say, okay, well, I want the center to be 2 by 1.5. I want it right in the middle, and there it is, right in the middle. And then I'll have a radius of 1. So that's how the user coordinate system is so useful. All right, so you can save your drawing, and that is it.